We can talk while you fix that.
Okay. Right.
So, hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. How are we all feeling today?
I'm doing okay.
You doing okay?
Yep.
Disciple of Ilmassi is here.
Hello, everyone.
He will be sharing more about both Champions of Mundus and Elder Scrolls Mythic.
Yep. And this time I actually have the timeline maps that I created while I was at work, actually, mostly. Just go ahead and bring that up. Like everything else I make them in advanced paint because I'm old school and learning to use a more powerful or advanced paint system on a computer is just not something I'm interested in doing because I don't want to learn right now, I want to create. Is usually my attitude. Actually, Ben, is there any way that I could show them these images? If I emailed them to you, could you put them on the stream?
I could,
Uh-huh.
but keep in mind I'm also playing a game while we talk.
Okay. Alright.
And I don't just have a hotkey for display image.
Alright, well, maybe, if the people seeing the stream have any interest in seeing that, we can...
Yeah, if you wanted to see the map and the timeline, I could post them on stream. I could make a dedicated YouTube video on it.
Sure.
I could also post them to the Twitter.
Alright. Well, I actually didn't ever expect anybody to see these and appreciate them but me. But anywho.
But he does have a timeline map sort of hybrid thing.
Yeah.
Or a series of maps that form the timeline.
So there are 4 maps of Tamriel, each of them taking place in a different time period. For example, the very first one takes place during Skyrim's timeline. As such, I've got Skyrim here, partly red, partly blue, showing the 2016 election between Ulfric Stormcloak and General... What was his name?
Tullius.
General Tullius.
General Tullius.
Just
Wait,
kidding.
let me add Elder Scrolls to the tags.
Oh yeah, you better do that. And we all know how contentious that election was. In fact, it was so contentious that there was no election at all. It just flew over into a full-on civil war immediately after the High King was murdered.
Yep.
Yeah, they haven't quite figured out democracy yet in Elder Scrolls, and I think it's high time that they get introduced to that concept. What do you think, Ben?
Democracy in the Elder Scrolls? They have it.
Where?
Funnily enough, the one place you'd expect they wouldn't. Somerset.
Oh, I was about to say Morrowind? They have slavery there.
Somerset has democracy. While the Queen and Empress is familial, her council is elected by the people.
Gotcha. So they have the British democracy.
Yes.
Gotcha.
If the Senate was beholden to the Queen.
That is something I am very happy that I now know, because I can use it in my narratives. Alright.
Also, heads of the Thalmor are appointed by their workers in votes.
Oh, well, lesser organizations. When I say lesser, I don't mean, less important.
The Thalmor are everything in Somerset civilization.
Yeah, I know. Organizations like that, like the Thieves Guild and the Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, all of that stuff, they kind of need group approval. Because otherwise you have people like me, no, I'm Archmage, lightning blast to the face. No, I'm Archmage, fireball to the face.
Ooh, no, I'm Archmage, hits you with a hammer.
How are you even an Archmage? I enchanted this myself.
I am an enchanter, my dude.
No, it's totally magic.
That's magic.
Oh my god, we've become the The restoration school lady from the college.
Enchanting is a perfectly valid school of magic, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Dude, I can't, so all the guards in all of the 9 Holds of Skyrim literally cannot stop saying, Skyrim needs more healers. I have much respect for the restoration school. And yet...
The restoration teacher
is like the most insecure person you can meet in Skyrim.
Yeah! Probably because she doesn't have any students. Students tend not to practice restoration.
So, okay. Alright. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the guards should take up
You
restoration.
find the king's seal in a drawer filled with...
Well, they're not adventurers anymore.
They don't need to be. They just need to be healers.
And also, magic is a gift that not many people can wield in the lore.
Oh, okay, because I was about to say, every single person who plays Elder Scrolls is able to use it.
In the lore, magic, you need a certain spark to be able to do magic.
Okay, alright.
Spark isn't as rare as it is in where magic is hidden. It's a fairly common trait. I don't know if it's genetic or just spontaneous, but you need a certain spark to do magic in the Elder Scrolls.
Is it more common among certain races than other races?
Yeah, you're pretty much guaranteed if you're a high elf or a Breton.
Yeah. No, I think I've actually heard that somewhere before.
Not every NPC can learn magic.
Oh yeah, and then there was that one dude who was trying to use a conjuration staff. He was just utterly
failing. Yep.
Alright, so, since I can't show you the map right now...
I will post it on,
Sure.
if I find out how to do a screen share...
Wonderful! Just show this royal order to the guards.
Actually, could you send them to me? I might be able to put them up on stream.
Let me get my email out.
Let me,
I'll go do, this will be my... You know what? Considering that you don't want us to say our real names, I'm going to guess that you probably don't want us to say our real emails either.
No, let's not say the email. Let's keep that in our head.
I've got a piece of paper here, and I'm going to write down which one I'm using.
Okay. So how we doing, viewer?
Oh, is this the same viewer from last time?
The guy who asked if I like bones in my taco?
Yeah, him. Bone Man.
Bone Man? No, Bone Man's not here. He didn't follow.
Oh. He was, didn't have much to say about the topics we were talking about, but he was definitely interesting.
He was Bone Man. He asked if I like bones in my tacos, and my response was, yes, crunchy, crunchy bones, love the marrow inside, delicious.
I think my response was something along the lines of, you need to find better tacos, friend.
Yeah, it was. We've got another viewer. Hello, viewer. How we doing? Right now, I am currently paused on the game so that I can put up an image that Disciple of Ilmassi is going to send to me on his timeline, so we can put those up and describe them.
Yep. Alright, so, write down what email you want me... It's
just the same. So I can put those up, and you can see what the timelines are. I need a jigger OBS for this. I think... Okay, we're on scene 4. Good. Let's make this... Shrink this down, and that, let's shrink that down. So how we doing, chat? How we doing today? We're on a different source. I'm gonna put up an image up on stream. We're gonna see...
It's being attached to the email I'm sending you. It's a big file, so it's gonna take a hot second here.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. It's I really, really should invest the time and learn how to use something other than MS Paint. I could probably do a lot more, but
You probably could.
most
There.
of them you have to pay a subscription service for in order to use, and I find that just to be kind of a scam. I hear, do you have Windows 11, Ben? Actually, never mind. I was going to ask if Windows 11 had MS Paint. I heard that it didn't, but my work uses Windows 11. And like I said, most of this was made at work when I had spare time. Okay, sending it now.
You sending it now? Okay.
Yep, you should see it in your email any second.
Let's reload the official email. We're loading. We're loading. We're loading. So this is oh, this is all the maps.
Yeah, so like I said, there should be 4 maps that you see.
Yeah, I'm downloading it now.
Well, I mean, when you're ready, you should see it anyway.
Let's add a new image.
I'm going to scooch a little closer so I can look at what you're looking at as well, and then give a little bit of dialogue on it.
Browse. Let's look at my downloads. Open.
That's it.
Okay. Oh god, that is way too big. We seriously need to size that down.
Is that possible?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Okay. Can they see you sizing it down right now?
Yes, they can.
All right.
They can seize me sizing it down. And now let's increase the size just ever so slightly. Increase it again ever so slightly.
All right. Cool.
Now,
That's awesome, actually. Can we
This-
maximize that? Or maximize the view of that? Thanks. Okay. So,
so
what you are currently looking at, viewers,
for
or actually, I'll wait till Ben is ready. He's still... Well, I can keep talking about it. What you are currently looking at that is going in and out of focus a bit is the map of Tamriel as it exists during the Elder Scrolls V. As I was talking about, you've got the red and the blue indicating what territories are controlled by the Empire and the Stormcloaks, respectively. Blue, be the Stormcloaks, everything in red is actually under the Empire. So at this point, the Empire is still relatively healthy. I mean, there is that big orange part, which, you know, the Red Guards over in Hammerfell are not particularly happy with the Empire, and they are saying, yeah, no, we're separate now. Now, the reason why you see 2 different shades of orange is because the lighter shade of orange is actually the Thalmor's occupation of Hammerfell, whereas the darker orange is the Resistance's territories.
so the resistance is the darker is the Thalmor.
Lighter is
The
the
res-
Thalmor occupied. They have managed to cut through the Empire. Well, they didn't have to cut through the Empire. They just
Not according to this key you have over here. This key says the lighter is the Hammerfell resistance against the Dominion, and the darker is the Thalmor occupation.
Oh, sorry. Yep, I did get that wrong. Okay, reverse that. Then I guess they went by boat. So yeah, well, point is, one of those halves is occupied by the Thalmor currently, and the Resistance is, well, doing everything they can to resist. It's probably, man, that would have been a great game, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, probably.
Well, we can make some DLC for that. I say as though I'm Todd Howard.
Burp. I am going to shrink this down a bit,
Okay.
because I do want,
You want to see, or you want people to see the you spinning in a circle?
can I just scale it down occupy that space there.
Will they still be able to read it?
Will they still be able to read it? I don't know if they'll be able to read it.
Why don't you,
Not, not really.
Okay, well,
Well, maybe if they're on a large screen.
do we need the little dude just rotating, or are you going to be doing anything with that?
I am going to be doing something with that. We can make the little dude smaller.
Okay. I don't know, I feel like I'm actually kind of taking over your stream.
Don't worry about it.
If you don't mind.
There we go. And now,
It's okay.
now
I'll
they
go
can.
through. If you guys have trouble seeing it, I'll go through.
Now they can read this.
Okay, I'll go through it. All right. So now I want to take your attention a little bit north of the orange country that I've decided is Hammerfall, and or Hammerfell, I should say. And we're going up to High Rock. And that's just above it. You've got that little blue patch that is Evermore. Evermore is actually the free city of Evermore, and it doesn't owe allegiance to the Empire at all. And this is mostly due to the fact that they have very powerful, well, magical force fields that nobody, not even the Falmor, can penetrate. They're just that little nice niche niche there. All right, so moving right
You
along.
show the guards the royal seal. They let you pass.
We're moving down to the next map, or are we still on the top map?
We're still on the
And
top
enter
map.
the- you should look
Going
for
over
any
to
clues
Morrowind,
to
you
the
can see
whereabouts of
that
the king.
the houses in
Thank
Morrowind still have
goodness
primary
you've come.
control. However, the big gray patch that is Valenwood, or sorry, not Valenwood, Vardenfell, is mostly uninhabited. That's why it is all gray, because it is lava filled, and it's very difficult to live there. It's not impossible. The Ashland are still there, but nobody has a city there, and life is hard there. They've pretty much abandoned it. All right, so down beneath Morrowind, we have Blackmarsh. Now, Blackmarsh is interesting because it also has different colors. The darker green is called the Unbound Kingdoms of Blackmire. Those would be the territories controlled by the Argonians themselves, as it should be.
Oh, Blackmarsh belongs to the Empire.
Well, you know. I guess no. Technically, all of it is controlled by the Argonians. No part of it is
Uninhabited.
uninhabited by Argonians. The green part. Let me put it this way: the lighter green part is more friendly, I suppose. Or sorry, no. The darker green part is more friendly to. I'm getting my.
Light green is the.
That's wrong.
Light green is the.
No, I can see it, Ben. I have it on mine. I put them in there wrong. It's supposed to be the other way around. Okay. You know what? The lighter green area is are the Argonians that are friendlier with the Empire. The darker green ones are the ones that don't particularly care about the Empire map. But you'll see them being unified later on anyway. Oh, and then there's also Lilimoth. And they are the An Exil. They're more of a religious organization. That's a holy capital within Blackmire. Oh, and of course, last but not least, we have Somerset, Valenwood, and elsewhere, which are all controlled by the Falmor at this point in time.
The Falmor Dominion.
The Falmor Dominion, yep. And so let me read the little text here underneath the map. This map depicts Tamriel between the year 201 and 205 of the Fourth Era. Noteworthy events include the killing of Skyrim's High King, Torrig, the Stormcloak Rebellion, and the subsequent Civil War, the re-emergence of the dragons and the Dragonborn, the destruction of Helgen, the assassination of Emperor Titus Mede II, the brief appearance of the Eye of Magnus in the College of Winterhold, the Vampire Scourge and the reformation of the Dawnguard, a brief phenomenon on the island of Solstein involving seemingly brainwashed people constructing a series of temples across the land. Evermore declares its independence from the Empire by erecting a magical barrier. Nihilus Volanu reconstructs the island of Oblique Rock and petitions the Houses of Morrowind to ratify his up-and-coming House Volanu. That's something to keep in mind for a little bit later. I will show you... Okay, so above Morrowind, specifically directly above the city of Blacklight, which is like a dark pink color, you'll have this little tiny purple island called Bleak Rock. And that is going to play a major role for the Hist Guardian. Right now we're in Dragonborn's heyday. But he'll rise again. Oh, also, the little area surrounded in green is all the areas that you play during Skyrim's time. So obviously Skyrim itself is surrounded in green, Castle Volkihar is, and Solstein itself. That is a theme I will continue. And now we are switching down to the next...
We're switching down?
Yep, we're going down to the next map. And so, unlike the last time, I'm actually going to start with the the writing underneath the map, which actually tells you what time you're in. Alright, this map depicts Tamriel between the year 233 and 237 of the Fourth Era. Notable events include the island of Artaeum's re-emergence out of its pocket dimension. Now, for anybody who doesn't know what that is the island that the Sigic Order is located on. That is basically what sets off this game, the Lightbringer. It's a game, I should say. So, the same way dragons coming to Skyrim sets off the Dragonborn's adventure. Let me see. I actually gave him a proper name, Lightbringer, but I don't think that's what I wrote down here. The Star Razor! Oh, that was a much better name. Alright. That brings out the Star Razor's rise, or his beginning of his history. So, notable events of this timeline include the island of Artaeum. Oh, sorry, here we go. The Magnagy falling from the sky onto the Somerset Isles, and the creation of the Star Razor. The loss of Thalmor-occupied territories in Hammerfell. If you go up above on the map a little bit, you'll see that the orange area is looking very bright orange. There is much less of the dark orange area controlled by the Thalmor. In fact, barely anything. And they've even taken a bit of Cyrodiil. They've conquered Anvil. So yeah, no, not only is the resistance of Thalmor, it's not even really resistance anymore, it's almost a complete kingdom at this point. Let's see, what else is here? Okay, so the kidnapping and later return of Elenwen by unknown forces. If you remember, Elenwen is the Thalmor agent who, at this point, has returned back home, but was previously in Skyrim. She has been kidnapped, and, well, I would tell you more about the forces, but I kind of want those to remain unknown at the moment. So moving right along. Oh, the Shimmerine Academy of Mages, which is not unlike the College of Winterhold, except it has several buildings rather than just one college. So the Shimmerine Academy of Mages' discovery of the Dark Moon's conspiracy against the people of Elsewhere. This is interesting. So the Thalmor basically tricked the people, the cats, the Khajiit of Elsewhere into allying with them by hiding the moons from view with a magical miasma, which made it so that new Khajiit could no longer be born for a short time. They need the moons in order to be born. That's what governs
Wouldn't it just make it so that both moons were perpetually new?
Which think, but no.
Which would be just as bad, because it would result in nothing but crooked cats being born. Nothing but I forget what they're called. They're these sort of evil cat Khajiit spirits that you encounter in the Elder Scrolls Online.
Actually, I kind of like that better.
Called Dromaratha. The Dromaratha, which are born when two new moons are perfectly aligned. They're sort of a bleak reflection of the...
How many of those are there in the Elder Scrolls Online? I remember them being kind of rare.
Because
and powerful.
Well, they're as powerful as a low-level Dromora.
Okay. Well...
And there were quite a lot of them. The problem is they were all sealed under elsewhere a long time ago.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah.
And whenever a new one shows up, it is also sealed in the same place.
Gotcha. Well, either way, the Thalmor did hide the moons. This much is actually canon in the Elder Scrolls. And in order to... They did this so that they could basically remove the veil around the moons and then say, oh, Khajiit, look, we solved your no moons problem.
We solve everything.
Yeah,
you should
great.
Join us.
You should. You should totally join us. But then somebody in the Shimmering Mages Guilds figured out that was a load of bullshit, and that really took a toll on Thalmor's
control
of the area and of their reputation. Lots of people, not just the Khajiit, are thinking, okay, these guys aren't so hot. So yeah, the Starraiser will actually be fighting the Thalmor in Somerset. You cannot join the Thalmor. They're just too... I was about to use a cuss word, but I stopped myself.
They're too antagonistic.
They're too antagonistic. They're too douchey.
That's kind of teetering
on a curse.
Yeah.
Really? You can't say the D word? Not that D word?
No, you can.
What about jerks? They're jerks.
I guess that works.
They're meanies. They're big meanie babies. Man, YouTube is stringent these days. I remember back when I was this guy's age, you could get away with just about anything on YouTube.
You get away with a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you can still upload the videos. They'll just be age restricted, which is why the last video I posted with you only has 2 views, as opposed to all my other videos, which are currently in the 20s.
Well, that's why I am self-censoring, and I suppose it's a good thing. Nobody wants a repeat of, what's his name, PewDiePie saying the N-word. Yeah, now that was a thing.
Yeah.
The good boys of YouTube turned out not to be so good. I guess it was the ego that went to their heads.
The ego goes to everyone's heads.
The ego, it does indeed go.
It will likely go to mine at some point.
Well, I'll make sure that you don't say the N-word.
But what if I get the pass?
Would you really want to?
I guess you're right.
No. Given your cousin... Oh, sorry. It's Ivan, your cousin.
Ivan,
your cousin.
His name is Ivan.
Yep, totally. Okay, so I've got the not cussing down. Now I just need to...
You just need to remember my name is Mal.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't technically have a name in this.
I think he does. I think he calls himself Awesome Dude.
Oh, well, that works. Okay, Awesome Dude might be looking at you kind of sideways if you start spouting out. But you know what? I'm just gonna stop.
Just stop. Yeah, that sounds...
This might even be enough to get us age-gated.
It might be.
Yeah, that's how stringent YouTube is becoming. Reminds me of my work. Anywho, where was I? Okay, so we were talking about the Dark Moons conspiracy. So that is going to be basically the Mages Guild quest for Somerset. I tried to put as much quest ideas as I could in these things. So yeah, the fighting the Thalmor would definitely be the main quest. Sorry, no civil war.
Choose your side.
Choose your side here. Yeah, just can't have those Thalmor. The big reason, I think I actually said this last time, the big reason why you cannot side with the Thalmor is because they kind of want to undo the fabric of reality in a way. Any elf that has not been around basically since before the Merethic era, and yeah, plenty of them are using bad magic, probably necromantic in origin, to extend their lives.
All magic is technically Daedric, though.
True. Anyway, but they are using this magic to extend their lives so that they can...
Be oppressors.
No, not just that. They've got a much more significant goal. So, before the Merethic era, during the time of creation, all the elves were actually the children of the Magi G, and they lived forever, and they lived among the stars. And when Nirn was created, when the planet was created, they fell down to the surface of Nirn and became mortal. Up to that point, they didn't know death.
Back then, they were called the Elenofe.
Correct. And the Thalmor are actually secretly governed by, former Elenofe, who have lived all this time and are hell-bent on undoing the other races of Tamriel, and effectively their own children, so that they can become immortal Elenofe over again by sacrificing Nirn. That is why you cannot side with them. Because you, as a new...
Hello, Fire Goddess. Welcome back. Nice to have you. Fire Goddess was here yesterday.
Oh, hello, Fire Goddess.
This is my cousin disciple of Ilmassi. He is doing lore on his custom Elder Scrolls games. He's got 4 of them? 3 of them.
3. Technically, Skyrim is incorporated into my timeline.
He's discussing... Currently, we are discussing the Starraiser. Elder Scrolls Starraiser.
Yep.
Which takes place...
Somerset.
In Somerset after the events of Skyrim.
Yep. I was just saying that the Thalmor, unfortunately, are not a joinable race.
A joinable faction.
I'm sorry, a joinable faction. They would like to think that they're a race, but they're not. Anyway, they're not a joinable faction because they basically want to undo all of the other races of Tamriel, and in fact, all of Nirn, the planet itself, so that the leaders can become immortal again.
Yeah.
They're jerks. Anywho, I swear to God, if that actually gets me age-gated on YouTube, then YouTube is done. But anyway.
YouTube's been done for a while, friend.
I know. Anywho. Alright, so moving past that, the appearance of the Untimed Rift on a small island north of Alanor. Now, what that is... I had a bit more about that, I think.
I'm sure you have more files than just this one, than just the maps.
Yeah, no, I remember what that's about now. Okay, so... that is going to be a conflict between of Ilmassi, yes, disciple of Ilmassi, you can guess which side of the conflict I'm on, Ilmassi and...
Ilmassi's also Padome, right?
Yeah, the elven name for Padome, I believe.
And then...
Anuel, I believe?
Anuel is the son of Anu. It would be a conflict between... If it was a conflict between Anuel, it would be Anuel and Sithis.
No, it's not that.
It would be Anu and Padome.
Anu and Padome. No, slightly down, Ilmassi and...
It goes Anu, Anuel, Auriel.
Okay, then what's the other side? What's underneath Sithis?
Padome, Sithis, Lorcan.
Now I need to look it up, because I need to have my own lore down here, and I probably should make a note about this. I would have probably known this at one point, but oh well.
And if Padome is fighting anything, we are in trouble.
Awesome. You know what? Go ahead and talk about something else for a minute. I need to look this up.
Talk about something else? Okay. Just quick, fun.
There we go. Nope, never mind. I found it. Okay. So, ilmassi. Alright, so yes, ilmassi is a Magna G, but who is his opposite? Who is his opposite? For fuck's sake. I hate when you read a wiki page, but then it has to load the ad, so whatever section of the wiki page you're on, it will just keep pushing it away so you can see what does it want us to see. Honest trailers, contaminations, that's what it really wants me to know.
Yeah?
Okay, here we go. As Tetu. Thank you. Alright, so it was going to be a battle between...
If ilmassi is a Magna G, then ilmassi is not Padme.
No, I didn't say they were.
Okay.
No. So ilmassi is associated with the end times, but he's kind of like... there was this little bug guy in Dark Souls 3 who would say, "Fear not the dark, friend, and let the feast begin." The calming of the fires in
Dark
Souls was not actually as dark as some would have you believe. It was actually just the beginning of a new age, kind of like the Kelper cycle.
The Kelpa cycle.
Yes,
the Kelpa cycle.
So ilmassi is let's start a new age, bro, a new age of creation. You can kind of think of him as sort of a revolutionary hippie, except more kind of gothic visuals.
Am I levitating?
You appear to be.
I am just standing on air. I'm walking on sun. Sorry, copyrighted music.
Oh,
Let's not do that.
Oh my god, yeah, no. It's terrible how monetized it all is. Yeah. Alright, well, anyway. If you join with as T2, look, basically, it's the choice to either keep what is already there or create something new. This will result in you having kind of a pocket dimension that it isn't quite creating your own world, but remember Mankar Cameron's Paradise in Elder Scrolls Oblivion?
Yeah.
Basically, you get that space to do with as you please. Whether or not you side with as T2
I'm
or
going
ilmassi.
to make the next Kelpa Minecraft.
Basically, you can help create the new Kelper cycle, but it starts out small.
The next Kelpa.
Which is why it still works in game, because since it starts out small, Nern's still going to be here for a little while.
Yeah?
Yep.
Wait, I thought that conflicts with Tezcom, though, doesn't it?
No, I'll tell you why. Later on. This is only the second chapter. The next one, actually...
Are we scrolling down now?
No, we're still on the same page.
Let me know when we're scrolling down.
I will. Alright, so... Oh, yeah, the next great event that happens for the Star Razor is the dissolution of the Green Pact in Valenwood and the Curse of the Wild Hunt returning, which you have to try and stop.
You are now a bulbous frog!
Yep.
And you're a freaking leopard, but only the front half of a leopard, your back half is a chicken.
Yeah, so basically it's not unlike the Cronenbergs from Rick and Morty taking over Valenwood.
So what the Green Pact does, the Wood Elves made a deal with
The floating trees.
with the god Yethre.
Yes, that's what it was.
They made a deal with the god Yethre to gain a stable form.
Mm-hmm.
And the Green Pact helps them maintain their form and appearance as an elf.
Yep.
If they violate the Green Pact by either intentionally changing their shape or eating plant life or anything of that sort, they will lose their form as an elf and just sort of shift between animal states kind of forever.
Now, I intend to actually have a cult that think that it's better to be able to change one's own shape. Basically, kind of a druid cult. They don't like being nailed down to one form. They think that the the deal with the god Yefre was kind of a raw deal. And they're busy trying to convince other people of this, too.
Is there also a cult of farmers?
Huh?
Is there also a cult of farmers?
A cult of farmers? Why would there be
That's
a
very
cult of
cultish.
farmers?
That's very cultish for the wood elves.
I mean...
They don't eat plants. Meat only.
Right. Well, this specific cult would eat plants. It's they have a specific fruit that they have... I guess it is a cult of farmers because they have cultivated a specific fruit that allows them a certain degree of control over their metamorphosis. And because of this,
before the Green Pact, it was just...
Yeah.
You are now randomized animal limb, animal head.
They believe they can do it better. They believe thanks to this sacred tree, or rather the sacred fruit, that they can create. They can create a better life for them where they can choose whatever form they want. But Yifrey doesn't like this so much, so you do actually get a multiple choice here as well. Especially if you're a wood elf. You can either join the cult of the metagenic fruit. Yes, I just made that. If you guys think of a better name, you can put it in the comments.
Let's call it the cult of the shifting form.
I mean, alright, that's a consideration.
Let's call it the cult of the transmuters.
Ooh.
The order of the transmuters, because they wouldn't call themselves
Order
a
of
cult.
Transmutation.
The order of transmutation.
I like that, yeah. So
They're just a bunch of moon school wizards.
Basically, yeah. But they, they're tired of, I like to think of it as a allegory
A small
for being
passageway
trans,
maybe
actually.
Captain Rogers.
You know, you've got your people that are like, no, I don't have to be stuck to one form, and I certainly don't have to maintain a certain diet to do it if I don't want to.
Yeah, that's so radical.
Isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah.
Be radical. You know, I'm not actually trans, but I am bi, and as the old saying goes, be gay, do crime. I think it can certainly be a...
Let us not encourage our chat to do crime.
No, we're totally encouraging that, especially if it's in the world of the Elder Scrolls.
Do not crime.
Be druid, do crime.
Do not crime.
Be druid, be trans. I am unabashedly left-wing.
Order, structure.
Nope, none of that garbage here. So anyway, you can choose between those two factions in Valenwood. I actually already talked about the next point here. Resistance and Hammerfells gain significant ground, pushing the Falmore back past Canaver Falls. Carve Nerver. God, I can't even read that. Can you pronounce that? C-A-R... Carniver Falls. Alright. House Volanu is ratified as a great house of Morrowind in gratitude for their restoration progress in Vardenfell. So, that is definitely something I have to get into now because it's going to play a huge role
in the next
game. Yeah. So,
where's the glowfish?
House Volanu is now the 6th house of Morrowind. No longer is Dagoth. House Dagoth is just a distant memory in a collection of very old Dark Elves minds. Dark past that they probably would rather not talk about too much because it wasn't a happy time. Although there was that in Neverine and there were some pretty damn interesting things there.
Release the glowfish. They swim into the dark.
Anywho, so House Volanu has been very busy. They have created basically huge lava teleportation pumps. And they have accumulated, like, trillions of tons, well, maybe not trillions, millions of tons of lava. And nobody knows quite where they're storing it. You'll learn about that later, what they intend to do with it. But they have these engines that suck it all up and have helped make Vardenfell habitable again. Not all of Vardenfell is habitable. A lot of the cities still need a lot of work, but Tel Mora is once again habitable. Tel Voss is once again habitable. Sadrith Mora, once again habitable. Unfortunately, and of course, their head station is directly over the volcano itself.
Never make a city on top of a volcano.
Well, that's where they're getting most of their lava from, and they're going to be using that. Trust me, they've got plans for that stuff.
Well, that sounds evil as hell.
Yeah, it kind of isn't great.
What are you gonna do with lava?
Dagenfell also is habitable again. But I didn't get to tell you the name of the base. So the base is called Veloth Denur. That is actually they call it Temple Veloth Denur, where they control all of the lava teleporting machines or lava absorbing machines. They would call it lava absorbing. It's the next game that they reveal that it is in fact teleportation and where they've been putting it and how they've been using it.
We're using the lava to create an artificial god.
Nope, not quite that. We're not ripping off of Morrowind here. But you know what we are doing, Ben? We're moving down to the next map.
We're moving down to the next map. Moving down to the next map. Here we go. We're on the next map, everyone.
We're on the next map, and this is the Elder Scrolls V Hist Guardian. So the Hist Guardian is probably my favorite because it's like just the most rebel. During this timeline, just a second. Okay, yeah. During this timeline, the Hist trees have actually selected a champion from among Black Marsh's populace. Now, you can see in the map of Black Marsh, they have lost some ground, some significant ground to both House Narcissus. Or sorry, not House Narcissus. What do they call these houses? Got a freaking key, why don't I use it? Alright, so we're looking for a light orange color.
An electrified...
Okay, House Sadris of Morrowind and House Dress of Morrowind. Now, both of these guys are slavers, and that's why they're in Black Marsh. They're collecting the slaves, they are doing the dirty. They are bringing those poor Argonians back to work in mines, in fields. Some of them are even helping out on the mainland, get rid of the last pockets of lava here. Now, if you actually take a look at the mainland, you see that there are stripes of dark purple in between the other colors, which coordinate with the other houses. That is because, in order to increase its own power, House Volanu, or rather the Veloth cult of House Volanu, has basically entered into a pact with them. Okay, you can have your old territories here, but you basically have to pay us taxes in order to maintain the land and make sure the lava doesn't come back. And the houses, very desperate to have their old territories back, were like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll do that. In exchange...
Nothing.
Oh, sorry. Oh, and in exchange, House Volanu is helping with their ongoing expansion into Black Marsh. And how is this expansion happening, you might ask? Remember all that lava I mentioned? Yeah, the Hist are trees, sentient trees. They can move their roots through the ground and also use teleportation. Well, sort of. They open up doorways that their roots can travel through and stretch much farther than other roots can. Oh, and also, they're kind of like the Whomping Willows, if the Whomping Willows from Harry Potter could also perform magic. By the way, not supportive of anything J.K. Rowling does or says anymore. Yeah, wretched person. Honestly, for my part, I believe that she's possessed by, like, a demon or an alien or something.
Let's not get political. Please.
Well, I've already mentioned trans people at this point, so I may as well mention that if I'm going to make references to Harry Potter, I'm just covering my butt here. But anyway,
That's fair.
So, yes, in other words, the histories are quite powerful. They have magic. They are semi-autonomous. I mean, they can move around a little bit.
One of them made a deal with Molag Bal.
Yes, they have made a deal with Daedra in the past.
And now that history is just in Cold Harbor.
Yeah.
And has a bunch of metal pipes sticking out of it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it really worked out too well.
No, does making a deal with Daedra ever work out well?
So I guess they're not entirely a hive mind. They have free will. They just, let's say that they're known to break away at some point. So maybe it's propaganda.
And then there's the sleeping trees.
Yeah, I think honestly...
Which, if speculation is to be believed, are mutated Hists.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Molag Bal had actually taken that tree. Did it make a deal with it, or was it tricked?
Was the 6 of one, half a dozen of the other?
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, if they are altered, then they separate from the house.
Essentially, this was during, not the Angzalil Revolt, but the stage before that,
Yeah.
when Black Marsh was pretty solidly occupied by Morrowind, in order to save the people of the Hist village,
Yeah,
the Hist made a bargain
with Molag
with
Bal.
Molag Bal to take it into Cold Harbor so that its people wouldn't be enslaved. So Molag
I
Bal
guess that is kind of
took his people into Cold Harbor, but took the village into Cold Harbor.
But they weren't slaves there.
They weren't slaves there. They're the few people in Cold Harbor who are free to do whatever they want. The only problem is part of the deal is Molag Bal gets as much of the Hist sap as he wants. So he made a plant he keeps it alive and he keeps it alive
that's
with
not-
necromantic magic and constantly pumps
That's awful.
Hist sap out of it.
That's almost as awful as what the Veloth cult is doing. They are dumping all of the lava underground, right underneath the Hist tree's roots, to basically burn them out of Black Marsh.
Yikes!
Yep. They are pumping that lava through the same magical doorways that the Hist use to stretch their roots through. As you can understand, this is a huge problem for the Hist, and they are not liking that. So
Yeah.
as they have done in times before, when Black Marsh was under great stress, the last time this happened was actually during the Oblivion crisis. They have created a Hist Guardian. They have created a super special sap, which basically gives one resident of Tamriel access to the same magical doorways that they can open up and close. And they use this so that basically you can call a history on demand anywhere you stand. And different histories have different
in
powers.
the White Palace, history on that
Yep.
throne.
So basically, yeah, no, you
Have
can
enough
just
to rule
summon up a
evil to
history,
try to overload
and
the
that
gate.
history can just tear up the ground, basically cause an earthquake. Actually, that's what I call the powers, quakes.
Quakes.
Yep, instead of shouts,
Well,
it's quakes.
you never went into what the Star Razor's
Oh
powers
my god,
were.
you're right, I didn't. Okay, I should do that. Okay.
Let's scroll back up for a moment.
No, you don't have to scroll back up, that won't be necessary. But
This must be the
I will say, so the Star Razor's ability,
Your magical theories and postulates are unwelcome here. This is not science. I will
in
master
order
the storm
for
in the
the
river of
Magnagy
now prepare
to
face
fall
the fury of applied science.
onto Tamriel,
I need to go heal.
they needed to have a unwilling, or rather they chose to have an unwilling agent, basically kind of take down a lock that was preventing them from coming down to Tamriel. Not dissimilar to the Dragon Fires for Elder Scrolls. Except this agent wasn't like Nanamarco. He was completely unaware of what he was doing. And this actually is going to be the character player. You were duped by the Magnagy into taking down the lock that kept them from arriving into Tamriel and invading. However, now that they've used to do that, the Magnagy weren't actually aware that this would happen. You kind of now have power over that locking ability, so you can banish the Magnagy with a lot of cool powers.
So, kind of Dragon Age Inquisition-y.
A little bit, yeah. I definitely took some inspiration there. But as you do banish these Magnagy back to what was it?
Back to Aetherius?
Thank you, Aetherius. Back to Aetherius. You actually get to keep a bit of their power. Yep.
I can raise the stones and call rain down from the heavens.
That's why he's called the Star Razor. He forcibly
He takes
raises
the star
Magnagy
and tosses it up.
throws them back up. It's a very literal translation of what he does. So yeah, Oh, and I called his powers, his shouts, blazes.
Blazes.
Yep. So, shouts versus blazes versus quakes. Remember that sentence for good old number 4.
Shouts, blazes, and quakes, oh
Shouts,
my.
blazes, and quakes, oh my.
Shouts, blazes, and quakes, oh my. Shouts, blazes, and quakes, oh my.
So many powers that you will eventually... Oh, I better not say it. Alright, so back to Black Marsh. Back
to Black Marsh. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go over some important events now that we've got basically the basic gist of what's happening in Black Marsh. This map depicts Tamriel between the year 2065 and 2069 in 4th Era. Notable events include the ongoing conquest of Blackmire by the 6 great houses of Morrowind. The Angsalil tribes concentrate their forces at the Morrowind border. The rogue history of Lilimoth sends out an Angsalil agents to kidnap seemingly random individuals throughout Tamriel and bring them to Blackmire. Man, I need some water.
Then get some water. Hydrate.
I'll be fine.
Hydrate.
I'm not going to break off in the middle of a sentence.
Okay.
The Hiss Guardian is chosen by the rogue tree of Lilimoth. So yeah, actually, not all of the Hiss tree were for the idea of selecting a Hiss Guardian, but Lilimoth is the sacred capital of Black Marsh. So this particular history has some pretty important sway within the hive mind. So yeah, it really isn't much of a hive mind. I guess it's more of a instant communication network.
It's like if all your friends were on Discord.
Yes, basically. They all have
and
their
you
own
could
Discord.
only chat in the voice chat.
Yep, totally. So so yeah, the Lilimoth history is basically Yo Daddy. And he says, you know what? Prove yourself. Go to all these other histories. Do something for them. Fight against them. Motherfucking... Oh, God. I was so close, too. Ben, edit that out. Do something.
I can't! It's too late!
Well, wait a minute. You said it was only something like about the first...
yeah, it's only about the
20 minutes?
The first 20% of the video.
Okay, how... Well,
We're almost done. You're good.
Okay, good. Very sorry for anybody about that. Cursing bad. I'm a bad boy. I won't do that again. Fight those Veloth cult guys.
Fight those unwanted people.
Yes, fight that Veloth cult. Get the lava out of our dimensional portals. We are on fire, for Christ's sake.
This tree is on fire. Please put it out.
Here we go. Where were we? Oh yeah, the reformation of the Shadow Scales. They're basically going to be Black Marsh's version of the Dark Brotherhood.
Oh, and we also have the sun.
Yes, we do.
We have the myth. We have the.
I'll talk about that. Don't worry.
Okay.
We'll get to that. All right. So, the recovery of the Hatchling King by Gideon Pak. I do remember there being something about a kidnapped king. I don't remember much about that storyline, so I'll have to look it up
for another video later.
Yep. Oh yeah. Here's a good one. The appearance of the floating landmass Umbriel flying across Blackmire.
So Umbriel is fun. So it appears in an official book about the Elder Scrolls, and essentially it's... Do you consider Umbra a Daedric Prince?
He's darn close.
Yeah. So it's a city ruled by the Daedric Prince, born of Clavicus Vile, Umbra, formerly a sword, and it's a city, and he has a bunch of histories on it, but
they are not a part of the same Discord as Black Marsh.
They have their own server, and it's the dark, edgy server with all the emos who think they're Daedra.
Yep, pretty much.
And these trees are called sleeping trees.
Yep. And said individuals might be interested in your services to become a real Daedric Prince, which you can choose to do. However, that's only one side of the coin. This is also a two-pronged quest. The other side is, do you remember who Umbra was initially a part of then?
Yeah, I said Born of Clavicus Vile, did I not?
I don't think you did.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Born of Clavicus Vile.
You also get reached out to by Clavicus Vile, who would
Daedric Prince of Deals and Bargains.
who would really, really appreciate it if you could bring back that floating landmass into his plane of oblivion and restore. And if you could bring back all those histories, then that would be even better. Because then he has actually not only his Umbra back in his corner, but now he's got all those histories.
The Sleeping Trees.
The Sleeping Trees. Yep. So there's some choices to be made in that quest. All right, the next one is going to be taking place in Elsewhere. So
Are we scrolling down?
not quite yet. This is still a part of the same thing. This is DLC, I guess you could say.
DLC?
Yep. You would move from
Downloadable content?
Well, it's all in my mind, so you can't really download it. I can just tell you about it.
Wanna bet?
Yeah. I turn my own brain into a console that people can play these on. I'm willing to bet that some people wouldn't mind that so much.
Who
That
knows?
would be really weird. I wonder how I would, would I feel it? What would I even feel?
What if your brain just translated it to you being an NPC in the game?
Well, I think it would be rather busy, creating the game worlds.
Yeah.
Basically jacking my head into a PC and then using it to generate an entire game. I bet that sounds painful.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to what I was doing. Alright, so going over to Elsewhere. Yeah, you kind of just cut through Leywin. You don't get to stop in Leywin, I'm afraid. I know it's in between Black Marsh.
But everyone loves Leywin.
They do, I do, but you just, what can I say? You sleep for the caravan ride. You just saved a whole country from lava pumping machines. You needed a rest. What can I say? Anyway, but once you do get to Elsewhere, the land of the Khajiit, the cat people,
There should be...
the Scourge of the Darkmane begins in Elsewhere.
the Darkmane would be one of those types of Khajiits who's managed to become Mane.
Correct. Except he is a corrupted Mane.
Yeah, he's one of the Dromaratha, right?
Yep. In fact, he was created due to the Thalmor messing around with the moon. So it's really their fault that Elsewhere is suffering from this.
Well, the Thalmor have fallen at this point.
They have. The Star Razor has defeated the Thalmor. And unlike the Valenwood, which has actually now become part of the Star Razor's new government,
What
the Khajiit are like, yeah, nah, screw you guys. We don't trust High Elves anymore.
We have lost all faith in the High Elf ways.
And so they have their own territory now, but they are more than happy to let the Histguardian in. And the Histguardian helps deal with their Darkmane problem and the Dromaratha problem. So that is that part of the DLC, and unlike the other ones, you cannot choose to side with the Dromaratha or the Darkmane. They're just violently insane. You just got to take those guys out. It's sad, but has to happen. Otherwise, a new Mane cannot be born.
Yeah.
And the Mane, by the way, is not unlike the Pope of the Khajiit.
He's also like their governmental leader too.
Yeah. Honestly, I seriously considered making the Mane one of the champions of
Mundus.
More like the champions of Tamriel.
I'm levitating.
Yep. Actually, I'm going to say champions of Tamriel, because Mundus is a bit of a bold claim. It's like the entire dimension.
Yeah, I guess there's no champions of Akavir.
Yeah. Well, at least they might be.
There might be.
We just
the
don't know
DLC champions of Akavir?
Champions of Akavir! There we go, that's the next idea. All right.
We know nothing about Akavir, though.
We don't. We know that it invades every so often.
And we know we invade it every so often.
Yeah, we really
And
should.
neither forces succeed.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of a... hey, would you like to invade each other? Yeah, okay, sure. Sounds fun. Nothing's really going on. There just hasn't been enough death and destruction in this century.
Well, Akavir is the Asia of Tamriel's Europo-America structure.
I guess. Man,
Well, like, their architecture and the architecture they have left is very Asian.
Christ, man, Bethesda's kind of xenophobic. And between that and Fallout, where the Chinese are, also blown to heck and back.
Well, everywhere is blown to heck and back.
Yeah, it's true.
And it wasn't either China or America's fault. It was freaking Vault-Tec who did it.
Wait, Vault-Tec started the Great War? I thought it was aliens.
No. Vault-Tec had an AI that launched the nukes.
Oh, they're just ripping off a Skynet now.
Well, the AI wanted to get the vaults functioning.
Okay.
And who would go into a vault if there were no nukes?
No nukes. Okay, so it just wanted to fulfill its purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Where did
They
you learn
built
that?
from a great YouTuber called the Epic Nate. If you like Fallout or Skyrim lore, you should
totally checking that out.
You should check him out. Yeah.
Okay, do you know what the AI is called?
It doesn't get a name.
Really?
It just gets a chain of letters and numbers.
Oh, well, okay.
Because its purpose was to hack into both China and America's nuclear complexes and launch them. That's what it was built for.
I mean, that should be something we experience in game. We need to, for Fallout 5, we need to fight that computer.
But yes, Vault-Tec is responsible.
Yep. Alright, well, that was a brief delve into Fallout lore.
Yeah.
But now I think we should get back on topic so I can finally finish this up.
Well, we still have 2 more maps to go through.
Nope, we only have one more after this one.
One more map?
Only
okay.
one. Yep. Alright, so, appearance of the Flying Island, the Scourge of Darkmane. Oh yeah, this is pretty damn important. The complete collapse of the Septim Empire throughout Tamriel, and the formation of the independent counties of Cyrodiil and the free cities of High Rock. The county Anvil joins the kingdom of Hammerfell.
Yeah.
At this point, they've been protected because Anvil was not doing well. It was the first place that the Thalmor invaded during the Great War, between the Thalmor and the Empire.
Yeah.
They were not treated particularly well. So yeah, the Anvil, they're pretty grateful to Hammerfell. So they were fine with joining up with them. So yeah, if you look at my map, you'll look at Cyrodiil and see that it is just a bunch of different colors there.
Why is it gray in the center?
It's because nobody is really governing from the Imperial City.
Why is Vivek still a crater?
Okay, yeah, Vivek is still a crater back in Morrowind.
Why haven't they pumped the lava out of there yet?
No, that's not what happened there. So remember that prison that was an asteroid above the Temple of Vivek?
Yeah, it crashed.
Yes. And that city is gone. There's
there's
a huge crater there.
There's you can farm there.
Well, actually, do you remember the tribes, the Ashlanders?
The Ashlanders.
The Ashlander tribes? Yeah, they kind of all left now.
Oh, okay. Then why don't you mark that Ashlander instead of uninhabited?
Well, it is actually marked. You'll see Narcissus.
Narcissus? Oh, that's the little camp.
Yep, that is a little camp, and that's basically, it's not an official city of the Ashlanders. They don't really do official cities, but it is the largest dwelling they have. It's the largest gathering. If you look closely here, you can see little crisscross across. They've got basically a boat city here.
Oh.
The Ashlanders are kind of becoming the Water Striders, but just in that one area. So I guess you could say they've constructed their version of Rivet City in Fallout 3. Out of the ruins, ironically, of the false god that proclaimed them all and is banished and separate from the Dunmer people. It's kind of interesting how history circles back in on itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I'd say that's kind of wraps it up for the Hiscardians timeline. That's all that happens there. All right. To the last, but certainly not least, in fact, without doubt, the greatest. This is the Elder Scrolls Champions of Tamriel proper.
I liked Tezcom more than Teztot.
Tezcot.
Tezcot?
Champions of Tamriel.
Yeah, I like Tezcom more than Tezcot.
I mean, you can keep it Tezcom if you want. Tezcom. It does have a nice ring to it.
Yeah, Tezcot.
Tezcot. Okay, yeah.
Tezcot sounds like a hotel chain. Tezcom sounds like a video game.
Alright, I think that's something we need to ask the viewers about.
Viewers, what do you think? Tezcot or Tezcom?
Ben thinks that Tezcom sounds better. I don't disagree with that, but I think Tezcot is actually more accurate, because you are not traveling throughout the entire dimension of the Elder Scrolls, although you are going to a fair few. I mean, in Skyrim, you go to the Soul Cairn.
Well, the Soul Cairn isn't part of Mundus.
No, it's not. I guess it's... Yeah, no, not really.
No, it's part of Oblivion.
Yeah. Well, is it, though? It's not. It's not governed
It's a
by Daedric Prince.
I think technically it's governed by Periite.
You think? You think the Ideal Masters are in league with Periite? I would have guessed...
No, Periite doesn't... Periite rules over... Periite is the default name you go to when there's a Daedric plane that isn't directly claimed by someone. He claims all the...
But the Ideal Masters do directly claim the Soul Cairn.
Now the question is...
Who the hell are they?
Who the hell are they, and do the other Daedric princes recognize their rule? If the other Daedric princes recognize their rule, then... it's a plane of Oblivion ruled by the Ideal Masters.
You can, in fact, bind Daedra to soul gems.
Yeah.
And any soul that gets bound to a soul gem winds up in the Soul Cairn.
So in that
I'm gonna
case...
say that the Daedric princes are forced
to recognize their rule?
Yes. And I'm willing to bet that if they don't, if they try to invade, or if they have tried to invade, they have been bound and trapped within the Soul Cairn.
Okay, in which case, then yes, it's a plane of Oblivion ruled by a Daedric prince, but regardless, it is a plane of Oblivion.
And not a champions, not in the realm of Mundus. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about Umaril, the city? Or, not the, what did it call it? Umbril.
Umbra travels. It's a moving city.
It's true, but it isn't always on Nirn.
It travels between Oblivion and Nirn.
Yeah. Okay, well... There are a lot of different places you go in this quadrilogy.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Well, again, viewers, please let us know what you think. If you think Tezcot or Tezcom is better. This is purely up to your taste. I have no compunctions about it, really, one way or the other. I think they both have... they both have merit. But, on to the last one. The last one of the map. Okay, so... I want to draw your attention to all three at this point. Skyrim, Blackmarsh, and Somerset. The individual fiefdoms of the previous three. So what I'm doing is that the previous three champions that you played as are now all part of a three-pronged faction quest, just like in Elder Scrolls Online. The Dragonborn now rules... Hold on. Where's my pen? Alright, so let me just go ahead and read this. The Dragonborn in the Dark Crimson territories over Skyrim is the leader of the Dovahkiin Imperium of Skyrim and High Rock. Now, down in Blackmarsh, the Hiscardian, he is now the leader of the Hisgil Collaborate. Not necessarily a king, he doesn't necessarily make that claim, but, he's kind of a spiritual leader.
Yeah.
And over in the Somerset Isles, the Feyrise dominion of the Somerset Isles and Valenwood. So each of these guys are not actually a racial faction. You don't have to be a Nord or any race in particular in order to join. They're more an ideological faction. The Dragonborn, or the Dovahkiin Imperium, Their claim to rule over...
You know a quick way to get people to hate you?
What?
Call yourself an empire.
Oh, yeah, because a certain ex-president of ours totally didn't, get a whole ton of people to almost take over the Capitol by saying, it's ours!
Let's not.
I'm not deliberately mentioning names.
How does that have anything to do with...
Oh, come on, you really don't think they would want to create an empire if they could?
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, no, they're totally in the empire building business, and quite frankly, so is America. Even without the certain president who will remain unnamed.
Manifest destiny, anyone?
Yeah.
Manifesting destiny?
All right.
Oh no, we've run out of manifest destiny. Hey look, there's Hawaii and Cuba.
Yeah, as long as we have inches of the earth to take over.
That's humanity for you.
Yeah, but back to what I was talking about. So, the Dovahkiin, his claim to leadership and rule, other than he's taken over High Rock, all of Skyrim, and Bruma, is that, okay, so the Empire started with a Dragonborn, and by God, it is going to continue with one, or by the gods, it is going to continue with one. He is a traditionalist, or he or she, whatever.
You can import your save data.
Exactly. They are traditionalists. The Empire started with a Dragonborn, and by God, it is going to finish with one. In fact, it won't finish at all. It'll continue. So if you liked that, you're probably going to be down with the Dragonborn.
Right? He might also light the Dragonfires again, because the...
Yeah, it might. And he could certainly, at this point, be powerful enough to take on just about any Daedric prince.
I mean, he's already taken on Hermamora, kind of.
Yeah, well, he was kind of a champion of Hermamora. Oh, one important thing. So, a huge amount of time has taken place between Skyrim and this. So, if you're wondering how the Dragonborn has managed to survive this way, it's going to be one of two ways. A, if you're a vampire, well, this is pretty self-explanatory. You're immortal. Congratulations. But you don't tell anybody about that. Only a very few privileged members of the Dovahkiin Imperium know that you are a vampire. If you are not a vampire, then you have actually kind of ruled from the shadows in Hermamora's realm. A dimension which time does not affect, because if you remember correctly, Miraak
lived forever there.
Yes. So mortals can live there basically indefinitely.
If they can survive.
Yes, and I'm pretty darn sure that the Dovahkiin would not have that problem. What the Dovahkiin has done is establish his followers, which happen to be many of the companions from Skyrim, as his chief lieutenants, and they carry out his will, and they receive his will from the Dragonborn directly while he is in, Apocrypha.
Yeah.
So,
They've got the Black Book.
Yep, they've got the Black Book. They can go to Solstein, because Solstein is also under the Dovahkiin. Well, actually, it doesn't need to be
part of it.
Yeah, part of it is. But
actually, it's not according to your map.
Oh, darn. You're right. I'll have to have that be taken over.
Or maybe...
You know what?
Maybe there's a war going on, a contested border.
Nah, I'm pretty darn sure. Because what's-his-face? The Veloth cult has been taken down at this point.
Well, they're still rule.
Well, yeah, they're still there.
They just can't push into Blackwood.
No, and their leader
has
died. But yeah, I'm totally... Boink. Come on, turn red. I'm changing this map. I'm making Raven Rock, Tel Mithra. Oh, you know what? I could just do the Skull Village. How about the Skull Village itself has sworn loyalty to...
Yeah, it's just the Skull Village.
Yeah, no, totally. Okay, so you know what? The Dragonborn, showing a rare moment of diplomacy...
has made peace with...
Or rather, come to an agreement. A tenuous agreement, but an agreement nonetheless, with both the... what do you call it?
Well, what was that pink color?
I'm going to take a look at that. All right, so this color represents...
Skull Tribe of Solstein.
No, Great House Redoran. The pink is Great House Redoran, Raven Rock. Oh, that.
This represents the Skull Tribe. So
okay, so yeah, you're right, all of that. The upper part is now the Skull Tribe's territory. So the pink is now dark red, people.
The pink is now dark red?
The pink, the grayish pink color in Solstheim is now dark red.
He's updated it on his copy of the image that he works on.
I can't do it up here. Yeah.
I can't update it on the stream.
I could send you
that
another
pale
email
pink,
if you want.
that pale pink that represents the Skull Tribes is now red.
Dark red. Yep. The same dark red that the Dovahkiin's other territories are.
Yeah.
So we're going to say that he came to a deal with the Great House of Telvanni and Redoran and said, okay, I won't invade you if you allow my troops free reign anywhere that isn't your territory in Solstheim. And, Telvanni and Redoran were like, I'd really rather not go to war with the Dovahkiin over a bunch of territory that, A, we weren't using, and B, already belonged to, as good as Nords anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sure, do that. Just, don't encroach on us and we won't go to war. So he narrowly avoided a war between the Dunmer, which would have been the last damn thing he needs, because what he wants to do is go to war in Cyrodiil. Yeah. Fighting a war on two fronts, it's never a winning strategy.
No.
Yep. All right, so I think we've talked enough about the Dovahkiin and his Imperium. Now, the Hisgel Collaborate.
Oh, they rule
of the Histguardian. They do. So that is their... each of the factions have a staging ground. Bruma is where you will actually... So this game is actually going to take place in Cyrodiil.
Yeah.
Not in any of the other ones. So I actually should have encircled that in green. Oops. Okay, you know what? Just pretend that Cyrodiil is circled in green. I'll fix that later. Damn, I'm going to have to send you another email at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway. So Bruma is where the Dragonborn currently resides at Cloud Ruler Temple. Because his blades are there. And they're very proud to have that area back. And serving the Empire once again.
So if he's with the blades... Or if he's reformed the blades, does that mean...
That the dragon on the third of the world is dead?
Yeah.
No, there's actually a mod that you can get for Skyrim where if you don't like that, you can basically shout the blades into submission.
Or, are the blades gonna go up to the throat of the world to verify the fact that you lied?
Well... you don't lie in the mod, you just say, enough, I am the Dragonborn, you will do as I damn well say.
Yeah.
And I like to think that either he could do that, and as a vampire be intimidating enough to do that, or he could always use the mind-bending shout that he learned from Mirak, and force the blades to accept the fact that, no, I'm not going to kill the dragons, because I'm about to use them as my soldiers to invade Cyrodiil with, which is exactly what he did. The dragons,
the blades are... you should make the
Empire remnants and the dragons are all under the thumb.
You should make the blades, instead of dragon slayers, now they're dragon riders.
Actually, his followers, he doesn't trust the blades to cooperate, to play nice with the dragons.
Of course he doesn't.
But he does trust his followers to do that. And that includes Lydia and, what's her name?
If any of them have survived.
I'm going to say in here they have.
So he's either turned them into a vampire or taken them
into the fold. They are chief lieutenants. You will be taking orders from Lydia.
What if you upload your save and all your followers are dead?
He went into the afterlife and Why would they all... You can't even kill them.
You can kill some of them.
You can only kill... The only time I know you can kill a follower is if you take them to, to Boethia's summit.
Yeah, but
and deliberately
they can die if they take too much damage.
No, they don't. They just hunch over and go, yeah, dude, you need to play Skyrim again. They just hunch over and sit on one knee for a minute.
Followers were killable.
Nope. They are not.
I've remembered multiple playthroughs of Skyrim where Lydia has died on someone.
Okay, you know what? Maybe my Skyrim is modded out to the wazoo, so
maybe you have a
mod that makes the followers. Actually, I'm pretty sure that maybe the the unofficial patch does that.
Oh, the unofficial patch probably does that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? Screw it. The unofficial patch is now canon in my world. You don't like it? Tough.
So what if I upload save data without the unofficial patch?
Then the Dragonborn is wearing a tutu and says, "Go download the unofficial patch," and he just dances on your screen. Yep, that's what happens. Failing that, though, you will be taking orders from Lydia and from
What about from
Sarana.
What about Jizargo?
Jizargo, oh god.
Am I taking orders from
You are
Jizargo?
taking orders from Jizargo of the College of... Oh, man, yes.
Jizargo is the new Archmage.
Yeah, oh god. You know what? To hell with it. Yes. Yes, he is.
Jizargo is the new Archmage.
By attrition. They were just like, alright, you know what? He's a Khajiit. He's not going to live that long.
No, he did the Winterhold quest.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Let's make him have done the Winterhold quest. He did the whole Staff of Magnus thing.
I mean, he can be there to help. Nah, sorry. No, I'm not taking that away from the dragon. He got to do so little with the Mage's Guild questline. If he didn't have that,
is he also the listener of the Dark Brotherhood? Is he also...
Yes. He is all of them at once.
He is what you uploaded the save data for him.
Correct. Yep, he is. He can, in fact, be all of them at once. He's a very busy man.
But I take it that an NPC fills the position if you don't upload save data of completing that.
I mean, he could always have one of his lieutenants do it. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to him appointing.
So
Jizargo.
he appoints the Dunmer that's in the bar that's an assassin. He's like, hey, I don't have time to do these Dark Brotherhood things. Could you do it?
Yeah, sure. I don't
But
mind.
what if you wanted your Dragonborn to be a good guy?
Then don't have him play through the Dark Brotherhood questline.
And if you upload that, the Dark Brotherhood
Have him,
questline still needs to have been completed, and he
What's
likely wouldn't...
the dude from... have him do the companions, and have that one chick, the werewolf chick.
What if
lead
you
them.
upload save
She's the
data
Harbinger.
where you destroyed the Dark Brotherhood before they could assassinate the Emperor?
I don't remember you being able to destroy the Dark Brotherhood.
So if you kill... If once you get the password to the Dark Brotherhood's headquarters, before you leave the abandoned shack, you can kill Astrid there. And if you do so, you can then go to Commander Morrow in Dragon's Bridge and tell him you know how to get into the Dark Brotherhood, and they'll kill up the Dark Brotherhood.
Well, then
It's a quest called Destroy the Dark Brotherhood.
Then I guess you most certainly, and I'm going to do that now because I want to see what that's like.
It's
you most certainly,
awfully disappointing.
Really? Oh.
It's just you go in, you raid the Dark Brotherhood, you kill everyone, and happy ending. There's no quest line for it.
Then I guess there's no Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim.
Okay.
That's the end of that, really.
But the Emperor still died somehow.
Oh, yeah, no. The Emperor died because he was an ineffective leader, and he faced a rebellion of all his territories. It wouldn't have been Titus Mede who had suffered that fate in all likelihood. It would have been one of his descendants. Remember, there's a good 100 years difference
I
between
guess that's
Skyrim
true.
and Tezcon.
You know, there's a theory
Or Tezcon.
that he took out the hit on himself
That is weird.
because he knew he was an ineffective leader,
I mean,
and
he could have just left and just, like, I don't know, hung out somewhere.
He didn't want to be remembered like that, though.
He could have faked his death. Well, anyway, I'm going to return now to the Hiss Guardian because I want to finish this. It's been a long time now.
Yeah.
It's like, there's an hour and a half almost.
It's been an hour and a half, yeah.
This
is longer than my normal videos.
We've only got
far.
2 viewers. I think people are losing interest.
Well, I've actually finished Crab Alley.
Oh, okay.
So, whenever you want to stop is fine. I've been waiting for you to be ready to stop.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. I'll hurry this up. This is the last one. No more random bits of like, are you sure this is the right thing in Skyrim?
Yeah.
All right. So, Hiss Guardian. Where was I even? Oh, yeah. So, Leowyn is his base of operations within Cyrodiil. And for the Star Razor, they took Anvil back. And Kvatch as well.
Anvil and Kvatch?
Yep. Well, Anvil was actually kind of a small territory, so I decided to give Kvatch as well to them. And plus, like, almost all of Anvil and Kvatch are completely neighbored by, Valenwood.
Yeah.
So, yep, they took over that, and that's their staging ground into the Empire, or into Cyrodiil, I should say. So, those are the 3 factions that you can join. But who do you play as, you might ask, which I have not at all talked about yet.
And you
But
can
now I
upload
will.
your save data from all the previous games.
Correct. So
This is kind
now
of like
I'm
a
actually
Mass
gonna
Effect
read-
trilogy sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of. Now I'm going to read the under portion here. I'm feeling to bet other people have already read that while we were blithering on about things.
Yeah, they might have. They very much might have.
All right. This map depicts Tamriel between the year 297 and 301. I guess I did say of the 4th era, but if it's 301, it should now be the 5th era.
Yeah.
But anywho. Notable events include the formation of the Dovahkiin Imperium in Skyrim and High Rock, the formation of the Feyrise Dominion in Somerset Isles and Valenwood, the formation of the Histgel Collaborate in Blackmire, the coup d'etat in Bruma, which saw Captain Bajoran Sheertide and a portion of the guards hand control of the city over to the Dovahkiin. The destruction of Anvil by the Star Razor and the surrender of Count Annauntus Viserys and Kvatch to the Feyrise Dominion. So yeah, the Count of that area surrendered.
Oh, right. The Star Razor can also drop stars on people, can't?
Not exactly, but he can call upon their power
To just beam
to
someone.
just like laser beam the ground. So
Yeah.
basically, the Dovahkiin calls dragons to fly through the sky in sort of like a mid-level attack, aerial bombardment. The Star Razor
has
calls
an orbital
satellite,
ion cannon on.
calls satellite strikes down on people,
And the Histgel Collaborate makes trees put your city in the air.
Yep. Well, or just like tears all the city up. Like, yeah, it's just
Giant earthquakes.
what do you call it? Daisy cutters military operation, where the whole ground just basically erupts.
Yeah. Keep going with the story.
Yep. The ongoing battle at the border between Hammerfell and the occupied territories of the Feyrise Dominion now, leading to the river on the border of Cyrodiil and Hammerfell being named the Blood River, because it seems to always be just a bunch of people fighting over this area. That's why it's red there. It's a constantly contested area. If you go there, you're just going to be doing... You can't even win there. You can't win the fight there, but if you do go there, it's a great place to level up, because you're going to be doing nothing but fighting red guards.
They're and also there's a
Well,
bunch...
and also orcs. Some orcs are there too.
Orsinium's back.
Yeah, okay, so let me put it this way. You will be doing nothing but fighting soldiers of Hammerfell. Yeah, actually...
And if you're dumb and sided with one of the other two factions and went there, you'll also be fighting the other soldiers there.
Yeah, no, the Hammerfell do not recognize the they don't recognize the Feyrise Dominion. They don't recognize the what do you call it, Dovahkiin Imperium, and they probably haven't really heard much about the Histgel Collaborate. But if they did, they want to remain an independent territory. They are not interested in being assimilated.
Well, Kvatch
They are
and
done with that
Anvil
shit.
isn't part of Hammerfell.
It was no, Kvatch never was. Anvil was. Remember?
Oh right, Anvil was.
Anvil was. But they are just fighting the Feyrise Dominion because,
They can.
heck with those damn elves. And, yeah. They basically...
You may not call yourself the Thalmor anymore, but you still are.
Yeah, they basically don't see a difference between the two. Where was I? Okay, the indoctrination of most of Leowin's citizens by a history planted in secret by the Histjalan. So yeah, that was a little bit of an underhanded tactic in Leowin by the Histguardian.
Just sneak a little hissap into the water supply.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, it was a seed. He took a seed, took a Histgel, and this particular history concentrated on its pollination abilities, releasing a...
Not just a bit of hissap into the
Not
water?
just a bit, nope, just a crap ton of pollen into the air, and it just had only one commandment: believe in the Histguardian. He can make a better life for you. And that was its only job.
Mind control!
Yep. Hey, basically the histories are doing it to the Argonians on the daily, forever.
I guess that's true.
So it's not like that's really beneath them. All
History
right.
is your abusive ex-boyfriend.
Basically. All right. So the most important thing that happens, though, is the the reappearance, the reemergence of the missing god of creation, Lorcan. Not as one entity, but as thousands of mortals on Tamriel. Probably on the other continents of Nurn as well. Or, sorry,
The other three
of
cyclic
Akavir.
waves.
Oh, wait, Akavir is only...
It's only Akavir and Tamriel.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
Probably on
maybe
Akavir as well.
Atmora?
I think Akavir is still there, yeah.
But it drifted
Yakuta,
further
I know,
north.
isn't. Yakuta, I know, isn't.
The waters got real cold, and it kept drifting further north.
Yeah, that probably place is just frozen to death at this point.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure that there are, like, some ice spirits that still can live there.
It's just,
Nothing.
what are those ice snakes called?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. What are those things called?
It's just Frost Atronachs and...
It's just Frost
Ice
Astronauts. No.
Ice Wraiths.
Ice Wraiths. Ice Wraiths and Frost Astronauts.
I'm back.
You see the Frost Atronachs walking the Ice Wraith like dogs.
Yeah!
I'm taking my pet for a walk. But anywho. Alright, so... what this means, if you are an aspect of Lorcan, that's what it means if you have a piece of Lorcan's soul inside of you.
Well, we've discussed what being an aspect of Lorcan and all that is in a
True, but
previous
that
thing.
video got age-gated.
Yeah, it got age restricted, and this one might too.
Well, I'm hoping it won't, and I'm going to continue as though it won't so that people can see it.
Okay.
If you are an aspect of Lorcan, congratulations. You have a piece of a god's soul in your body, or, as a part of your soul. This comes with a litany of amazing powers. The greatest one is that whatever skill tree you take a lot of time to perfect, and it doesn't have to be just one, you have a sort of ghostly avatar that enshrines your whole body. Not unlike the shout that the Dragonborn uses that kind of enshrines his body in the dragon aspect. But this one is based on whether or not you're a warrior, a mage, a rogue, whether or not you're... it constantly changes as your skills develop. So your aspect is very much...
what if you're just good at everything? What if I've power leveled every stat to 100?
Then you have an Omni aspect, and that's going to look bad A. Bad butt.
Bad booty.
Bad booty. It's going to look really cool. They're all going to look really cool. I'm not going to give you any lame aspects. But anyway, this...
What if the only skill you're good at is, like...
And basically... hold on.
Clairvoyance.
I want to get this out of first. So basically, having this aspect, what that does for you is think of Dante's Devil Trigger from Devil May Cry. You can look that up if you need to know how awesome that is. It just, amps up all of your abilities by 10. But also, if depending on what faction you join, you can get access to a certain portion. Not as many as the Dovahkiin will have, but you can get access to some shouts. If you join the Gel Collaborate, you can get some quakes. Or if you go with the Feyrise Dominion, you can get some blazes. Yep. So it is your choice.
Obviously, I am siding with the Feyrise Dominion, as I am the malevolent son, and who would I be without blazes?
Oh my god, you know what I completely forgot about? I think we got distracted.
Oh, you didn't talk about the Sun faction in the Hist!
No, not that. But I didn't, and I don't actually think I've written anything down. I thought I had. You know what? I'll get to them. What I was going to get
we're already running at an hour 30, and...
I know, I'm trying to wrap it up. Alright, so... Dragonborn, you're a traditionalist. You want a Dragonborn to sit on the throne. If you are sick of the rule of the less long-lived individuals, not necessarily elves, but you want people who've been around for a while, know what they're doing. You want competent leadership, or at least that's what you say. Then the Feyrise Dominion might be for you. They are the longest-lived species on Tamriel, and yeah, at this point it pretty much is the elves. But they don't say that. They just say, "Oh, it's a meritocracy. You could be a dark elf. You could be a Bosmer.
We support vampires. If you're
you can totally.
If you're a vampire and you've lived long enough, you can get on the council.
Yep. So basically, they want elders. It is the geriatric government board. The grandpas are coming. Yeah.
The grandpas, they be coming.
Yep. And the Histio Collaborate, they style themselves as revolutionaries, as the breakers of change. No more slavery whatsoever, unless, of course, you include mental indoctrination. But they color that differently as being united in both mind and body.
With the land.
Yes, absolutely. So, unite with the land, unite with yourself, unite with each other. No more conflict will endure. That is a real empire.
I feel like they'd see a lot of support from Hammerfell.
Possibly, but they're nowhere near it. It's a little difficult to get messages out there.
If they're the breakers of chains?
Yeah, they could. And you know what? I will say this. So you can kind of go around and get individual factions of, I guess you could say representatives of each race. Yeah. Not necessarily the entirety of each race, but representative factions within those races.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it to be necessarily entirely race-based. They did that in Elder Scrolls Online, and it looked terrible, frankly. The Ebonheart Pact is the stupidest covenant I've ever seen.
Don't rant about the
the Ebonheart Pact.
Don't rant about that. We'll take care of that later.
Okay, but still, it's dumb. So I wanted to make it an ideological faction system. Or at least masquerading as an ideological faction system, so that they
in
can
actuality, it's probably the High Elves, the Wood Elves, the Dark Elves.
The Hiss would like to get everybody on the same page as the Argonians.
Yeah.
That's their new plan.
Personally, I feel kind of obligated to support the Feyrise Dominion.
You think that those who have lived the longest deserve to be in charge?
No, I'm just a Meridia supporter. What's the take on Daedra worship?
I mean, they're okay with some of it. Depends on whom.
Meridia?
Meridia's fine. No, they're fine with Meridia.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the Dragonborn's take on Daedra worship?
Well, keep it in the closet. I mean, they're certainly guilty of it, no matter which way the Dragonborn swings.
What's the take on Daedra worship?
And not as much.
What about Meridia? Your trees, sunlight, good!
Yeah, they'd probably be fine with Meridia. I mean, everybody's pretty much fine with Meridia, unless you're undead.
Unless you're undead!
Yeah.
So I picture if the Dragonborn a vampire...
Yeah.
They might be prosecuting Daedra worship.
They might not dig Meridia so much in that case, no.
Meridia, Mithraia, same person, really.
I've got some factions here for the... So, due to the fact that Cyrodiil is so divided right now, you're going to have multiple factions kind of filling the same niche that will be vying for control. Like, for example, for the Mages Guild that doesn't exist anymore because this isn't the Third Era, you've got the Synod Conclave versus the College of Whispers. And depending on which of those colleges you choose to join, you're going to be bumping heads with the other one.
What if I want to be an assassin?
The Dark Brotherhood versus the Shriven Makers. Now, the Shriven Makers are a vampire-only assassin guild. So if you're joining them, you're becoming a vampire. And they follow Molagbal.
Of course they do.
Because the Shriven Makers, that's actually a reference to
Soul Shriven.
Yep.
Do they allow you to join not as a vampire, but as a Soul Shriven?
That would be interesting, but I think they're more interested in making their victims Soul Shriven rather than their members. So for the Thieves Guild, well, you don't have any other factions there because the Thieves Guild is not an official guild at all. It is a banding together of outlaws with a common cause, so it's pretty difficult.
I mean, it's kind of led by the Grey Fox.
Kind of, yeah, but basically what I'm saying is...
the Grey Fox is still around.
The fracturing that all the other guilds seem to keep facing in these...
Never seems to face the Thieves Guild.
No, they...
Kind of honor amongst thieves, if you think about it.
Yeah. Or rather, we don't care about politics, we just want to take your stuff.
We don't
care about
what your race, what your
politics.
class.
As long as you're good at taking people's stuff, you're in.
You're in.
You can.
Yo, I want you
scream
for the
about
Thieves
double
Guild.
game. You can support the Star Raiser, the Dragon Rider, the whoever the heck, the Tree Hugger.
As long as you don't fight other guild members,
Yeah, no.
and you steal good.
If you steal
in.
good, you're in.
Do crime, steal stuff.
Yep.
Don't kill, that's bad.
Yep. The Warriors Lodge is the new faction to replace the Fighters Guild.
Oh, and what's the other?
They actually don't have one. They have they are a startup, so they don't have another faction because they haven't been around long enough. You basically are going to carry them. At one point, it's going to be just a building filled with the mercenary company,
and then you spread it a bit.
Yep. The Warriors Lodge will become the new Fighters Guild. I wanted there to have at least one startup faction that you could really assign your name to. Actually, some other ones that I kind of forgot about. For the Star Raisers Thieves Guild, the Somerset Shadows.
Yeah.
They don't have the Thieves Guild do not operate within Somerset, and they have very little presence within Valenwood.
Yo, servers are going down for maintenance in 2 hours. Day 1 patch.
Well, I think I can probably finish up. I'm almost done here. Any other faction changes for this one? No, I've already
What if
talked
I
about
want to be a thief in Blackmarsh?
The Thieves Guild are everywhere.
You want to know a fun fact about Meridia not a lot of people know?
What?
She is technically the Daedric Prince of Greed.
Interesting. And yet, the Thieves Guild have a pact with Nocturnal.
Only because she's the Daedric Prince of Luck. You don't need to be greedy to be a thief.
You just need to be good at it, yeah.
Actually, a lot of Thieves Guild members put their money back into improving their communities.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of it really is an honor among thieves situation.
Yeah.
Thieves more noble than the politicians. They probably worship Meridia.
You know who definitely worshipped Meridia?
Who?
A good man named Mercer Frey.
Oh, I really need to stop myself from saying the MF word. That MFer.
Yeah?
Yep.
He opposed Nocturnal. Meridia opposes Nocturnal a lot. Nocturnal is night, she is day.
Indeed.
And he was greedy as hell. Who do you think got his soul?
Yep.
Meridia.
Yep. I actually think that's actually the only other faction that I didn't mention. The Somerset Shadows are natives of Somerset.
What about
the only place where the Thieves Guild do not operate?
What about the Meridia cult in Blackmarsh?
I know that was a thing we did at some point, but I don't seem to have written it down.
I think they were supposed to pose the same role to the Shadow Scales that the Emperor's Guard poses to the Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim. They were like the opposite faction you could join.
Gotcha.
If you wanted to if you're like Shadow Scales bad, no assassins, you could join the Sun people.
What you had a name for them?
Oh,
this was your faction, right?
This was my faction. They had a name.
Benevolent Sun here, being my cousin, gets to create one faction within the game. I'm afraid none of you get that privilege, so don't start.
Son of actually, I'd be better ethereal shards.
But actually, I'd say that about wraps up my my presentation, I guess you could say. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't. Hold on.
Lore.
One very important thing to go through while Ben's looking up his own faction, or the lore for it, rather. The only bad thing about being an aspect of Lorcan is that you gotta hunt down and absorb or convince other aspects of Lorcan to give up their aspects of Lorcan. It's kind of like a Highlander thing where there can be only one. And that one becomes the new god of creation, of reincarnation, specifically. And there will be a big baddie who is a snow elf, who is, as of yet, the most powerful aspect of Lorcan, who has absorbed the most other ones. And he'll be the Alduin to Tezcom's game. That didn't quite come out as well as I thought. Okay, so if the faction war is the Stormcloaks versus the Imperials, or it can be compared that way, then Agamemnon is going to be this game's Alduin. And that about wraps it up. Also had some DLCs here.
I'm looking up. There's.
Could have thought that I'd written this, but oh well.
Okay, Vaka. It was the Vaka tribes. Vakka.
Interesting.
Vaka stones, literally sunstones in the gel language, are bright yellow crystals used by the ancient Argonians to store the raw magicka from the sun. They're only known to be found in Murkmire. The stones are pieces of cut and enchanted meteoric glass, a rare form of ethereal fragment glowing with arcane power. They are believed to be magical crystals similar to Welkin stones and Varlas stones produced by the Aurelians in the Cyrodiil. Prior to Duskfall, some tribes of ancient Aragonians were directed by their Hiss to worship the sun, or even collect its power. Known as the Sun-Blessed.
Gotcha.
So they're the Sun-Blessed.
Right.
Sun-Blessed as opposed to the Shadow
Scales. I kind of like
They were eventually betrayed by their
Oh, can we call them the Sun-Touched?
They're called the Sun-Blessed.
Alright.
In lore, they were eventually betrayed by their Sithis-worshipping brethren, and the practice faded into obscurity. And as the Sithis...
I don't mind them actually being a full-on joinable faction between the Shadow Scales and the Sun-Blessed. But would the Sun-Blessed be willing to carry out assassinations?
No, they're a rival faction. You stop assassinations instead.
What if instead they assassinated particularly corrupt people?
They're not an Assassin's Guild. They would be more... What if they posed as like a bodyguard guild?
That would be weird.
I mean, Skyrim's done it before. Multiple, what if they were like the Companions?
That actually I could do with.
Yeah, they're a warrior guild.
Okay, totally. Okay, we're putting that...
But you can only choose them or the Shadow Scales because they are inherently opposed.
Gotcha. I'm fine with that.
One worship the sun, the light, Magnus, and Meridia. The other worships Sithis.
Gotcha. Alright, so then I'm going to put that down here. What were they called again?
The Sun-Blessed, and they wield Vaka stones.
Alright. Darn. I don't remember what that font is called.
Well, you can work on it later.
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap up the stream now. Because we've been going for 2 hours. First 2-hour stream, everyone!
Oh, yeah.
So that's good. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to follow. This video will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. And go over there, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Hit the bell, do all the things that the algorithm likes, because I want to get out there and I want you all to have a wonderful day.
Can we get rid of the old video? Because this one's much better.
The old video did have me doing questing in it.
All right,
that's kind of important.
Okay, we'll just keep this one.
So I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all later.
Thank you very much for having me, Mal.
You're welcome, disciple.